So hello everyone, this is take 2 in a series for what is really needed, what are the competence really needed for a successful entrepreneur. And the main focus here is biotechnology, medtech, life sciences companies, but a lot of these things are also of very high importance in other businesses. So without further ado, let's dive into this. So first topic was about science and the things, the knowledge you need in association thereof. But today we are going to talk about communication. And communication is very important. So you need to know how to listen, so you get the right information in your system. That's very high importance, and therefore you can also show that you understood. So you have a conversation, you will summarize it in your own words and will then ask confirmation if you understood it correctly. That will help in the bonding in this case. But another important thing is that of course you also need to convey your message. So what is important in your innovation? What do you have to offer? Why is it needed? So you need to reduce oftentimes a high complexity system to its essence. And there is a saying also in German, durch der Beschränkung zeigt sich der Meister, or durch die Beschränkung zeigt sich der Meister, which translates in by making it more simple and reducing, so leaving out the parts that are non-essential, you will show that you mastered your craft. That's important because people are like plants, and of course plants will thrive when they are watered, but if you give too much water you will not only flush down the entire plant and the growing of that plant, but also you will flush down the nutrients that you really need for this interaction to happen. So you need to give them just enough and also keep them informed. So when I say just enough, you need to give them the essentials that they need to know at this moment to understand the message that you want to convey at that moment. And of course you can also show them a little bit more, but it depends on the situation there. And for that purpose you need to know how to communicate, also get the players around the table, so that you know if you are communicating, that you are communicating with someone who can make the decisions, because there is something that can happen. If you are communicating very effectively, but you're communicating at the wrong level, the level that's not able to make the differences, you will put a lot of time and effort in, but you will reach very little. So that you still need to go through different layers. And of course sometimes this will help, and it can also be that if you try to talk to the decision makers, that they say we need to first to have to go from this science or this technical expert, so you need to go then to those layers. But oftentimes you need to know, do I have the right persons around the table, so that the message that I try to bring across will not only land, but will also result in what you want, the goal, the action, the interaction, the partnership, whatever you want. And you also need to master different tools. So you need to know how to communicate in wording, in face-to-face sessions, by telephone, by email, but also communicate on congresses if needed, communicate with those that handle the agenda of the decision maker, also very important. Oftentimes this is an office manager, a personal assistant or secretary. But also you need to communicate with investors to keep them all aboard. And the message, there is a core message that will be the red layer, or in Netherlands we say the rode draad. So that will be the connecting line in all your communication, but the way you address it and the way that you tailor your communication might be quite different. therefore it's also very important that you need to know the modern ways of communicating and also excel at that. For example, sometimes a spreadsheet can work very well. You can also work them through all the scenarios and just fill in the numbers that they want and see what pops up. It's very iterative and very nice. But also PowerPoint. PowerPoint is a very impressive tool because you have a very nice way to present your data. You can either have a PowerPoint, and I would always advise it and present it, then send a PDF version of that afterwards, or sometimes it is used as a deck that is already shared to get them on around the table, and then they go into the depth of your slides and ask the question what they are missing, what they still need to get elucidated, so your light needs to shine there so that they can see in the darkness. That's a very important way to convey a message. You can very easily also from PowerPoint extract pictures. A slide can be converted to a picture or a PDF or whatever. Very, very important tool in my opinion. But also in communication you need to know the other modern way. Sometimes Facebook groups, LinkedIn can be a good tool to address your public, but also a weblog, your own website of course, your web shop. A blog can help people to give your innovation a face, and also your website. We have a website for the product which is directed at the customers, whereas if you have a website of your company which is often more directed at investors, it's also a different way of approaching the same material, of course. So please keep that in mind and also master these traits. And if you are not good at it yourself, make sure that someone in your team, someone in your entrepreneurial team is. So then you have synergy in your team. And of course, it's my personal opinion that everyone in your team needs to be able to convey the message and communicate it in a clear way. But some will excel and some will just make it the baseline. And you should use the soldiers, your own soldiers in your company. If that soldier is specialized in communicating, please let that person do the communication, or at least a great deal of the communication. Therefore your innovation and your business will thrive, because without communication you don't have means to get your message across. And that's very important, of course. Another thing to consider is practice makes perfect. So the more times you do it, it's like a muscle, it will become better, it will become more natural. You have the different viewpoints also from earlier sessions, earlier questions that popped up and the answers that you gave them. That makes you well seasoned. It's the same like the elevator pitch. So you have to tell your message across in sometimes 1 minute or 30 seconds. So in 1 or 2 sentences you can bring your message across. That brings me back to the first time I mentioned, durch die Beschränkung zeigt sich am meisten. So to make it simple, short, to the point, but let it snap. And that snap should be something that triggers them. So you should bring across what makes you different, what's so unique about this. That's of great importance. Well, hope this short video helps. Van Rukar out.